Today on FTRTV, we're going to mount my controllers. G'day everyone, my name is David Meyer and welcome back to First Time Reefer TV. Today we are going to actually go back and do a little bit of work on the Dream Reef build. The tank has been going exceptionally well, but it is going through not a long cycle, it's finished cycling, but I did want to just leave the tank to run for quite a considerable amount of time before I get any livestock in there. And that was something that I just wanted to try this time. Traditionally, most of my tanks, I've basically just set it up, cycled it, and then just dumped it full of coral. But I do want the bacteria colonies to build and grow, and it is a bare bottom this time, so you know, stability is going to be probably a little bit more wild. I'm going to get some more biomedia into the sump as well, just to really help build up those bacterial populations in the tank, and as well as maybe considering getting a little bit more live rock to dump down to the sump, and also start my refugium down there, which I have decided to go with a refugium just for something different. And I did want something just really easy to harvest and get rid of. I'm a huge fan of the Pax Bellum, but I do want this tank to be as low maintenance as possible. So opening a lid on the sump and just pulling out a bunch of Gday is going to be a lot quicker for my lifestyle at the moment. But you know, I'm still going to be running the Pax over on the Cade Frag tank over on this side. So that's not going anywhere, but I did want to try something different and something a little bit neater as well. So today we're going to do a little bit of work on the control box that I've got over the side there. As you probably remember, way back yonder, I did a little bit of a video about receiving the Adaptive Reef boards and how I was going to mount it. And today we are going to get into the video on how I've actually decided to mount it and what I'm going to put on there. So stick around and check it out. So mounting the Adaptive Reef boards are pretty simple. All you've got to do is just follow the instructions, which is pull out the front panel. And then behind the front panel, you can see that there's those support bars that go across the unit where you screw into. So screwing off the front panel makes it a lot easier to get access in there and to mount it as you require. So it's literally just pull the front panel off, chuck a few screws into the unit just to hold it in place. You can see here I've used a level as well just to make sure both panels are at the same height and leveled and aesthetically pleasing to the eye, because I reckon it'd do my head in if the units were a little bit off or not straight. But a level is going to ensure that both of them are going to be the same height and you know, as straight as possible. So pulling off the front panel is really easy. Just undo these screws and you fix your 6 screws into the cross members of there. And then while the front panel's off, take the opportunity to sort of try and map out which controllers you're going to put where, and then run the cables through. So you can see down the bottom here, there's the little cutout that your cables can go through, and from there it comes out to the front panel and then up into your controller. So take the time to plan out how you're going to mount the controllers and where they're going to go, and that allows you to really make it really simple to just run your cables through and get it in the right position. So once your cables are all run through, you can just attach the front face panel back onto the unit again, which is, you can see here, it's super simple, but it allows you to hide all the cables behind this front panel. Now it's also got the little cutouts or little ledges, as well as holes that you can use to mount your power bricks behind, or alternatively you can use a little bit of Velcro and just screw it to the back of the board. And that'll allow you to tape up all of your power bricks that you've got. Just keep everything neat and tidy. For me, I've got the back of this controller board that I can mount everything to, and at this stage that's what I'm going to be doing, because it's just easier and I can just get the little bit of minimal cable to run through the controller unit into the control board as well, which will make it really nice and simple. Now, all these cables are feeding into the back of this controller board via a cable duct. So you can see the cable duct actually stretches across the entire bottom of the back of the sump there, just right on the front face plate. I've painted it black as well so it doesn't stick out, and the cables literally just go from your wave makers or the return pump, just go straight down into that cable duct and just run all the way into the back of the controller board, and from there is a little hole that gets you inside into the control board. Now, you know, cable management has been so high on my agenda. As you can see from my lights, mounting the lights up there, there is not a single cable that you can see, because it's all cable tied and run and really, really neat, because I didn't just want cable mess everywhere, and I hate it. You know, it's just something that's so important, because it's so crucial, because messy cables can really mess up your tank and have a high risk of catching on fire and really ruining everything that you've worked for. So super high priority to be able to get my cables out of the way. So all the controllers are in now. The 2 return pumps, the Deltec E-flows, they're in. They're in with little screws like this, which is a little bit ugly, but what you can get is these little screw caps. Just get that from Bunnings. And all you got to do is hopefully just stick it in. Just stick it in like that. And the screw hole is gone, or the screw is gone. Push hard enough, you'll get it in. So now there's a little bit of excess cable here. I'm going to take you around the other side and show you the cable management, and we'll pull these back through so it makes it nice and neat, and we'll install some of the caps back on. So if we do come out the back here, yes, it is a sea of cables at the moment, but it is nowhere near as messy as what it was previously. I had stuff everywhere, plugged into all over the joint, but now I've got this little piece of cable duct that's in there, and all the return pumps can run into that and run across my wave makers from the other side of the tank there. They can go straight down and run straight across. All of my cables, all of my power can run across here, and then I've got this little cap that I can put on the top of it, and that's going to hide all of the cables. I obviously need to notch out so these cables can go in there, but we had a bit of excess cable from the Tunzi wave makers, so we'll pull them back through a little bit. And these are the 2 lines for the wave makers, so that should make it nice and neat on the other side. We'll go around and have a look over there, and that should be done. Now the great thing about these Adaptive Reef mounting boards is these little covers here. So you got one that allows a cable through and one that's fixed solid like that. So what you can do is just cover these holes up. You don't see the hole anymore. The ones with the cable, be able to push it in like that. Push it through. It is a tight fit. You can see there, it makes the cable nice and neat. So I get another one over on this side. Like that, and hides everything away. Got one more down here. Tunzi. These ones here, just get plugged up like that. There you go. So everything's nice and neat now. That's nice and neat. I'm going to save that for the 2 MP60s to come through there. So that'll be all the controls for the return pumps, wave makers. I'm going to put a little tablet here which is probably going to display readings from my alkalinity tester. And then underneath there, I'm thinking a dosing pump of some sort to go in there maybe, or if not, I might just mount it on this side here and leave this just for more controllers or iPads. Maybe this can be the full control station, but these Adaptive Reef mountain boards are a really fantastic way, to keep everything neat, everything tidy, and they're really, really easy to install, as you can see. Just a couple of screws, run your cables through, and it's all happy days. Cable management is everything now, and having a sea of wires non-existent is awesome. They've actually got little platforms and stuff, and holes that you can mount all your power bricks behind there as well, if you want to mount your power bricks behind. I've got the other side of this cabinet, so I can do that, but a really fantastic way to mount all your controllers. So once the tablet's up there, that's going to look pretty schmick, so we'll get that in soon. So like I said, I wanted to mount an iPad, so I found an old iPad that's been laying around, and instead of, I mean, it's a pretty old iPad, so you're probably not going to be able to get a bracket for it, I don't think, but you don't really need a bracket, to be honest. So what I'm going to use are these fantastic 3M Velcro strips. They literally stick on one side, so they can stick to the Adaptive Reef mounting board as well as the iPad. They Velcro together, and then when you're done with it, or you don't want to use it anymore, you can literally just pull it off and have zero damage done to any of your surfaces that you've mounted to. So let's stick to the iPad now and let's get it up. So I've got the iPad here. We'll just clean off the back of it. And literally just peel this strip. Stick it under the iPad like that. I've got a smaller way. So you get two strips on like that. The other side, just gonna Velcro it on like that. Get that one on. That one on. And then what you do is just peel this side off. Oops. Easier said than done, but obviously. And then just going to center it on here. Center it on the panel here. Hold it on there for about 15-20 seconds, just to really let that adhere to the surface. And you don't need to stress too much if it's not level, because it's Velcro, so you can just pull it off quickly and just stick it back on. So some charging cable through here. Plugged it there like that. Bob's your uncle. iPad mounted. So I'll just show you guys again. So now, with that mounted, I have, oops, it's a bit of a tight squeeze down the end here, and I'm a bit of a big boy. So now we've got the two Deltec controllers, the two Tunge Stream 3 controllers there, two of the MP60 Vortec controllers are going to go there. So I've got the iPad mounted up there now. So, there we go. My Algotronic at the moment is offline, but I can display. I can display my Algotronic readings up there. So that looks pretty nifty. How's that? that up there. I wonder what we're going to do down here. I don't know yet, but if you've got suggestions of what should go down the bottom here, let me know in the comment section, because I am likely now to be mounting my Alcatronic and my Dosatronic unit over on this side, and probably find space for my little controller screen as well. Actually might put that somewhere else, I'm not sure. But these Adaptive Reef mounting boards make life so much easier to mount things like this. You can see I did that, especially that, in about 2 seconds. So looking very, very cool, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on how to mount your controllers onto the Adaptive Reef mounting boards. A great way to neaten up all your cables and keep everything just neat and tidy, but on top of that also displayed absolutely beautifully. So if you guys like this video, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions about these Adaptive Reef mounting boards and where to get them. And I hope you guys can subscribe if you enjoyed this video as well, because it certainly goes a long way in helping out the channel. My friends, until next time, peace.